Welcome back, everyone. So today let's talk about Bird Box, which just came out on Netflix a day or two ago. And I finally got the chance to see it. And it's this movie that came out of nowhere. Like a lot of Netflix movies that have been coming out, they kind of just appear out of nowhere. And I haven't found a way to really gauge whenever they're coming out. But I haven't looked hard enough, honestly. I just like finding surprises like this on Netflix just appearing. Because this movie, watch it, like, the only thing I knew about it was, and I'm going to keep this spoiler free, so I'm going to say what I thought I knew about it, but it's spoiler free, in which Sandra Bullock, her character, is in this world where they've got to keep blindfolds on her and these two kids, and they're on a river, and that's it, and that's all I knew about the movie going into it, and I really did like and appreciate that that's all I knew about the movie, because going into this, it was a very intriguing, like, mystery thing in terms of, like, I didn't know much about the plot at all, and I'm glad that it was like that, because that made this movie even more great. And before I talk about the movie, actually, this is a big cast in it. Like, there's a lot of actors that I just recognize, and it's so funny to see all of them in this movie. Of course, Sandra Bullock's in it, but you've also got characters like, actors like Sarah Paulson or John Malkovich or Lil Rel Howery, who's been in a lot of stuff recently, and like B.D. Wong, and then a couple others. And it's just funny seeing all these people in this movie that I didn't know, that I knew nothing about in terms of the actors involved either, besides Sandra Bullock. I just knew she was in it. And that was enough to get me to watch it regardless, but I liked how we had all these other actors in it that are really good as well. They are actually really great. And I like how the movie starts out in a very effective way, where it's hard to explain without spoilers, but it really is effective in the opening, where like you see this world and see this chaos reign of something, like something happens and like it creates this horrible thing happening in the world, and I like that a lot. And I thought they did a great job with building up, setting up this character, and setting up this world. And I like how it just did a great job of that. And the opening is really thrilling, and actually really, in a lot of moments, I was just like because it's such a mystery, it was actually very well done and very interesting with the opening. Just realizing nothing, you don't know what's going on still, but it's intense as shit. And I really liked how intense it got in the opening. And the movie, of course, is intense throughout. Like, it is very intense, and I like that too. I like that it really did keep the intensity throughout, and didn't really go stale. I like that as well. And without spoiling it, I thought the antagonist of this movie is really scary. Like, actually, in context, like, just thinking of this thing on its own, it truly is a horrifying thing for a horror movie. Like, a very, very cool idea. And it really feels like these characters in this world are truly helpless. Like, this movie doesn't pull punches in how you really don't know what's going to happen to everybody in this movie. They really make it, they really do it so well, where these characters feel like they're in so much actual danger and dread. Like, you don't know what's going to happen to everybody in the movie. And I really thought that was great. And this movie also is very similar to another movie that I won't mention here, because if I mention the movie, it'll be like, oh, I know what it is now, I know what it's about. But this is a way better version of that movie, and if you see this movie, I feel like you'll immediately go, oh, I know exactly what he was talking about. This one movie that was really unintentionally hilarious, but it has a similar thing in this movie with the plot. So I feel like if you see this, tell me down in the comments if you got it, but I feel like people are going to immediately go, oh, I know what this is. It was that movie that he was talking about that's similar to that, except for this is a way better version of that movie, of that horror movie. That's great. And the performances in this are really, really good as well. Like, Sandra Bullock, I felt like she really gave it her all in this movie. Like, she really is gripping in this movie, and she really gives off this realistic feeling of like this person going through all this shit. Like, she's the character that is the main character. She's going through all of this, and I love how just the amount of fear and despair in this world with her in it. Like I like how she reacts to stuff and how throughout the movie how she's just how her character works and how her performance works very well because of that. Um, and I also want to mention John Malkovich too. Like he was a great character as well. Just because it's John Malkovich, of course he's a great actor, but he's got a great performance. Where like some of his other movies, he's a real dick, and I like that he's an asshole in this movie in a fun way. Like it's bad to say he really plays a good asshole. Like I feel like he'd understand what I meant if he ever watched this video, which he would never watch this probably, but if he heard that and he'd be like, hey, he called me an asshole. I think he understands what I meant. Like not literally, he just plays that role very well. So I really liked him. I thought he was a great stand-in, and I thought that all the other actors are great as well. But John Malkovich is just one where I really think most of the movies I see him in where he's like the side character, he really brings something to it. And in this one he did, and I like that as well. So he was an honorary mention, I think, a really good honorary mention. So overall, like, I can't say much else about this because I don't want to give anything away. I want people to go into this clean. I didn't even look at the plot synopsis on Netflix. I didn't even look at that. I just played the movie because I just wanted to know nothing and go into this mystery, and I felt like that worked better for this movie. So overall, I really thought this was an awesome horror movie. I thought it's a horror movie, but it has a lot of elements of like drama, but also it works on a lot of levels, and you'll see what I mean when you see the movie in terms of like it's a horror movie, but it's a drama as well, and it works on all those levels, and everything really worked in this movie. The acting was great, the suspense and the thrills were great. The antagonist, I think, is truly scary, and I think that these actors are all great, and I thought that they gave this movie some real punch to it because everything in this movie like worked for me, that I mentioned already, like the performances, the suspense, and just everything about this really worked. I thought this was a great movie, and I really dug it. So overall, I really again dug this movie. So go out and watch this. Tell me what you think about it down below if you've seen it. Go into it blank like I did. I'm hoping people will do that. I hope people won't immediately realize what this movie is before they go into it, because I feel like it's more interesting when you don't know. And that's what made the movie better for me. So anyways, tell me down below what you guys think about it. Thank you guys so much for watching.